With no monsters left on the field, I activate Future Silence, add Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice to my hand, special, or add Shining Sark, add Dark Magician, the Magician, Black Magic, summon him, summon Dark Magician, Destruction, add Tamias, battle, attack, Tamias, summon Dragoon.
Ah, you got me.
Told you I was the master.
GG.
GG. Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. Mesa Muertos has support for a great many decks, but the most iconic among them has to be Dark Magician. But in a cruel humiliation ritual for Yu-Gi boomers, it's mostly being splashed in more capable strategies. Well, don't worry, young Chen Wonner. I've got what you need. Presenting Dark Magician.
Oh no! Oh yes! This monster completes my trio of magical beasts that will combine forces to take you down!
So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Despite what some Yu-Gi-Tubers who shall not be named would have you believe, the TCG is alive and well. And if you're looking to start your journey into paper, there's no better place to begin than Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. With up-to-the-minute reporting on every major tournament worldwide, searchable and interactable pie charts and deck lists, and all the bells and whistles you've come to expect from one of the best draft and collection management sites on the net, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the place to be. Check it out today at www.ygoprodeck.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's delve into Dark Magician. Dark Magician is an archetype out of time. Back in 2016, Konami threw fans of Yugi's ace their first and only bone with a series of cards designed to facilitate a fragile but consistent playstyle. Banishes with Circle, Reborns with Eternal Soul, and not a lot else. Shockingly, in the decade since then, the playstyle of DM has changed very little. New spells make Eternal Soul more accessible, new monsters make summoning Dark Magician easier, but nothing has rankled with the uncomfortable truth that such a game plan was outdated in 2016. How could it possibly still compete? Well, I think the best option here is just to completely ignore it. Jettison any semblance of a game plan that isn't Dark Magician of Destruction, then AirPod Dragoon and hope for the best. The good news is that such a setup's extremely powerful thanks to the plays enabled by the extended gold sarcophagus packages, and Magician's Souls means the list is uniquely positioned to resolve the issue of drawing too many starters with no non-engine. This deck might not spend every turn summoning a Dark Magician with no cards left on the field, but it will spend time winning. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up, the Ultimate Wizard of Attack and Defense, Dark Magician, and now our Shining Sark monsters. 3 Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, 1 Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic, and 1 Gandora G, the Dragon of Destruction. Shining Sarcophagus can find all of these monsters, and this fulfills the condition on Dark Magician of Destruction. The easiest to summon is Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, but Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic is a Dark Magician, which matters a lot, and Gandora G, the Dragon of Destruction, is fantastic going second. After that, we've got 3 copies of Magician's Souls, we've got 1 copy of Rod, 1 copy of Illusion, 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, and the Shining Sark itself. We are playing 3 copies of Future Silence, which adds Shining Sark monsters from your deck to your hand, and maybe can refill your hand sometimes as well. We've got 2 copies of the Gaze of Tamias, which allows you to target a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl in your field or your graveyard, fusion a fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling it into the deck as material, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. We're playing 2 because we intend to use both, and Soul Servant, which gets us out of really sticky situations, courtesy of Rod. After that, we've got our non-engine 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Fuelos, 3 Super Polymerization called by the Grave, triple Infinite Impermanence, and that's right, we're an Impulse deck. In the extra deck, we've got IP Masquerena, SP Little Knight, Miasma Necromancer, which is the funniest card in the list. It can bin Dark Magician Girl's The Magician's Apprentice, but when that monster's on field, its name is Dark Magician Girl, so its effect can still activate. Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians, which allows you, using Masquerena, to pivot on your opponent's turn into Dragoon again. Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Garura as super poly targets. We've got Azamina Illisilvia, the Dark Magicians, double Dark Magician of Destruction. When fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck during the turn, a spell card or effect is activated by banishing a level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster you control as material, can add a Dark Magician or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. We've got Dragoon, who needs no introduction, Saint Azamina, Tamias, the United Magical Dragon, and 1 copy of Azamina herself. In the side, we've got triple Nibiru, triple Mulcharmy Perulia, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight for corner cases, double Lightning Storm, a Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Evenly Matched, an Anti-Spell, and Solemn Judgment. So with that, let's check out some games. Our first match is up against Exosister. What, with the new support? What is this, Genesis? We're going first. We're going to begin with a copy of Future Silence. To grab a copy of DMG, we'll go to the main phase and activate her effect, bringing her to our side of the field and grabbing a Shining Sarcophagus from deck to hand. We'll open the Sarcophagus and grab from deck to hand the DM Retrain, which we will summon to our side of the field. Our opponent's going to fool us twice in the same chain here, no, which allows us to special summon using the Gaze of Timaeus a copy of Red Eye's Dark Dragoon without giving them a draw. From here, we'll go for Illusion of Chaos to grab Magician's Souls. We'll activate its effect in order to send DM and summon itself. Then we'll activate Soul Servant in order to put the Gaze of Timaeus on top of our deck, using its effect to draw 2 and an additional card off the souls. We'll set 1 with an Ashen Grip and pass back to our opponent. They're going to begin with a copy of Sophia, then followed up with a Pax. We will Ash Blossom that, and then afterwards they're going to go ahead and summon the Ellis from hand. From here, they can make a copy of Carmel. They'll activate the Carmel effect. We'll activate Dragoon. They'll activate Carmel, which means that they are going to be able to add that sucker back to hand and go to the battle phase, walking over our Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, but this is just a 1-mat Zeus, so I'm not super scared. The Vadis doesn't do too much from this position. We'll Gaze of Timaeus out a Dragoon, as our other Dragoon is banished from our first Timaeus. From here, we're going to activate the effect of the Dragoon. They'll activate Vadis. We'll activate Dragoon to negate, and we should be able to get in for almost, if not lethal. Getting up to 4,000 is sufficient, so we'll get in and take the game. So that's how the deck performs on the play, but what does it do on the draw? Well, for game 2, we're playing against Magnet Warrior, and our opponent has opened really funny. They're going to begin with a copy of Sigma Minus to fusion summon out a Plasma Magnum. They'll activate the effect, and we will chain Infinite Impermanence. From here, they're going to be able to go for the Duoterion for Magnet Bonding, then activate the Magnet Bonding in order to search, which we will Ash Blossom. Unfortunately for us, they have a Called by the Grave, which means that does resolve, and now we are in for it. They will grab Plus Minus and activate its effect, sending 2 to the yard, triggering the effect of the Sigma Plus in order to summon out this copy of Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior, which can add from deck to hand an Epsilon. They'll normal the Epsilon, activate the effect in order to send Omega Plus, then summon back the Sigma Minus, whose effect will trigger in order to send Delusion. From this position, they can cycle out for the Omega Plus, trigger the effect of their Plus Minus to get it back, and Exciton Knight into Fiendsmith's Requiem. That's right. Now we have an unskippable Fiendsmith cutscene as Lacrima makes it to the field, sends a copy of Engraver, and makes it to Gallant Granite, using 2 4s to grab an Adamancipator Researcher. They'll shuffle back that Exciton Knight to go into Fiendsmith sequence as they use Researcher to turn a 3 and a 2 into everybody's favorite 5. First, they're going to spike something off the top, and oh my god, they hit Guardian. Are you kidding me? Alright, perform the Synchro Summon for Naturia Beast, and now Sequence will shuffle a couple of cards back for a Lacrima. Lacrima's effect will bring back Fiendsmith Engraver, which means they can also end on a copy of Wave High King Caesar. Finally, they'll get the motherfucker that reflects the physical, and bring back Delusion before passing turn. They'll reveal a rock, and I don't know if we can do this. Well, Super Polymerization off the top is a good start. We're going to go for Mud Dragon, then go to main phase. We'll go to the battle phase and walk over the Koakai Myru Guardian so that we can Shining Sark here. We'll activate that effect in order to grab Dark Magician Girl, then we'll normal summon the Magician's Rod in order to grab from deck to hand a Soul Servant. We'll special out the Dark Magician Girl and activate the effect in order to grab another Shining Sark, then Soul Servant to draw a card into another DMG. You gotta be kidding me. We'll go for Dark Magician of Destruction. They will contest it with Delusion, bringing back Sigma Minus and Sigma Plus, but we do get to add the Gaze of Timaeus, which we can now activate. They're gonna go for Wave High King Caesar. Unfortunately, we don't have an out for that, which means we are just totally boned. We'll take 12 off the Lacrima and pass turn, and from here, it should just be a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal. It's so irritating how Wave High King Caesar works. They're going to special back this Epsilon, activate the effect in order to send a Beta. We can Shining Sark in order to get rid of it, but they are still going to be able to bring out Delusion, trigger the effect of the Cross Sheep in order to mill a couple, special summon out the Plus Minus, and from here the monsters are getting very big. Direct for 30, 50, 28, and that's lethal. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing what else but Branded Dracotail, and our hand looks like it's got a lot of engine in it. Okay, we're going to begin with a copy of Future Silence in the draw phase. We'll summon out DMG, the Magician's Apprentice. We'll grab a Shining Sark, go for the Shining Sark, and then afterwards we will grab from deck to hand a copy of the DM Retrain. We'll use the DM Retrain to get it to our side of the field, then go into a DMOD. They will affect Valor, but of course we can chain the Gaze of Timaeus in order to shuffle them back and still resolve that effect. Down comes Red Eye's Dark Dragoon as we get Magician's Rod, which we can then normal in order to grab from deck to hand a copy of Soul Servant. We'll activate Soul Servant in order to put on top of our deck a copy of the Gaze of Timaeus that activates Soul Servant in order to grab that sucker. We'll go to IP Masquerena and pass our turn here. Our opponent's going to draw 4 turn, and they're going to begin with a copy of Ecclesia the Virtuous. That's going to tag into a Fallen of White Dragon. They'll activate Wildbaz's effect, which forces the Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. From this position, they can normal summon a Lucius. We'll activate IP Masquerena to go into Selene. You have to keep an eye out for this card because we can activate its effect to get 3 tokens, then its second effect in order to Reborn from the graveyard. Our opponent's going to go for a Phimena, which of course we can Impulse, and now that we have the Dragoon back on our side of the field, I'm feeling pretty good. We even get to cycle back Magician's Rod for follow-up. They will Rahu, we will negate, which forces them to set a copy of Sting and pass turn. We'll draw for turn, and they'll flip Sting. That's fine. Back goes the Femina for a Fallen of the Virtuous, but we can use Shining Sark in order to get to a lethal position, courtesy of Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, for another Shining Sark. We'll go to Demod again in order to grab a Soul Servant, and then we'll go to the battle phase, getting in for 1,000, 4,000, and then activating the Gaze of Timaeus, targeting the Demod in order to cycle out for a Red as Dark Dragoon for lethal. So it's time for game 2, and well, an impulse and a dream. I mean, this is not a bad impulse. They're going to begin with a copy of Branded Fusion. We will negate it afterwards. They're going to normal summon a copy of Lucius and activate its effect. From here, they will grab from deck to hand a copy of Femina, then activate the effect in order to send the entire hand to the graveyard. It's Sands and Ash Blossom. Trigger the effect of the Arthalion and the effect of the Lucius to set a copy of Rahu, and grab all those suckers back. From here, they can Rahu in order to send into a Gulamel and trigger the effect of the Femina and the Urgula in the yard to set a copy of Flame and a copy of Sting. Finally, they'll use Urgula in order to grab back this Femina and pass turn. Pretty normal turn 1. That's a pretty bad draw. We'll begin with a copy of Magician's Souls in order to summon the Dark Magician, but they will chain Sting. We'll activate Gaze of Timaeus in order to contest that, and they will Flame to prevent us from getting to Dragoon. That's disastrous. Probably the end of the game. All right, we'll go for Preparation of Rites afterwards for a copy of Illusion of Chaos, and we'll activate its effect in order to grab another copy of Souls and put itself back. Let's normal summon the Rod. They will Ash Blossom, and I don't know. What do you want me to do from this position? We'll pass turn. Our opponent will draw for turn, and oh my god, it just gets worse and worse. They'll go Femina, chain Gulamel in order to pop our copy of Magician's Rod, and fusion summon out an Albion whose effect will trigger alongside the effect of Frix in order to set a Rahu, and fusion summon out a copy of Secretarion. Let's go to battle phase 28, 3, 28. All right, let's go next. So it's time for that all-important game 3, and wow, can you say power spells? Okay, we're going first. We're going to begin with nothing. That Perulia is kind of devastating. We'll try for the Shining Sarcophagus in order to get a DMG, but I don't want to give him a draw. So we're going to use the Prep Rites in order to grab an Illusion of Chaos, then use Illusion of Chaos's effect in order to grab a Souls. We'll shuffle back the Ritual, then use the effect of the Souls to summon the DM to our side of the field, and then we will make a Demod, activating its effect in order to grab a Soul Servant. From here, Soul Servant can set a copy of Timaeus to the top of the deck, then we can activate it to draw said Timaeus. We'll set 2 cards and pass back to our opponent, and then activate Timaeus immediately. Unfortunately, our opponent has a Fallen of the Virtuous to contest it, which means we are screwed. They will go for Branded Fusion. We have an Impulse, which I'm happy about, but oh my god, the Rahu Draco Tail just cooks us alive. Down comes Arthalion. They'll trigger the effect of it and the effect of Urgula and the effect of Femina in order to set both a Ketu and a copy of Flame as well, while adding everything back to the hand and popping our Super Polymerization before we have a chance to activate it. They'll go for Malulu here, then activate the effect of the Femina in order to go into a Secretarion, triggering the effect of the Lucius in order to set a Sting, and then activating the effect of the Urgula in order to get back this copy of Femina, the Secretarion, in order to shuffle a couple of cards back, get that Lucius, and activate its effect as well. They'll go for the Pan here, activate Malulu, sending the Pan and the Lucius to go into a Gulamel, triggering the effect of absolutely everything and robbing us of every card on our side of the field. Haha, you fool, my Shining Sarcophagus is too powerful to be destroyed. We can use it to contest the Arthalion, but this is still really close to game. All right, well, let's see if this DMG can get there. We'll draw for turn. It's an Ash Blossom. That's not bad. It stops the Flame at least. We'll draw, go into DMG. They will Horn. We will Ash, and I mean, unfortunately, as we go for Shining Sark, they can just Flame it. They'll chain Gulamel in order to pop the Dark Magician Girl, and that should be all she wrote. Man, I tried. So we're back with the deck, and oh my god, I can feel the boomer coming inside me. Those other freaking decks only won because they were playing broken meta cards. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, very easy Dragoon. It's a strong and simple engine that gets to Dragoon consistently, which a lot of decks actually struggle with. 2, Souls and Soul Servant and Sark all get you to Demod really easily. Even if Demod is interrupted, you can stack and draw into the Timaeus Fusion, courtesy of the broken Dark Magician support. And 3, there's a ton of non-engine space here. It's easy to jam a bunch of breakers and hand traps in as insulation, or even a sub-engine for raising your ceiling. And the cons. 1, Timaeus has to shuffle back to resolve. So if your spellcaster gets popped, Timaeus won't resolve. If you keep the DM on the field, it loses 2 Fallen of the Virtuous. If you put it in the graveyard, it loses 2 Crow and Bastiles and Bell. 2, the deck searches and draws a lot. Droll is a killer, and it can even stop you from getting to a single interruption on your field. And 3, in this pure version, the ceiling is really, really low. You're getting 2 Omnis and 3 to 4 cards in hand, and that's it. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but compared to the top decks, it's a lot less, and it's breakable by some engines using only their engine. Overall, the new support breathes life into both Shining Sark and DM, with a multitude of ways playing it, being pure or as an engine in Yummy. It's only going to get better once that Overframe card comes out. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. These videos are made possible by, and occasionally suggested by, my patrons, some of whom have handed me a lump sum in order to be mentioned at the end of this video. Those people are Absolutely Fran, Elena Tincher, Allison Elliott, Ally, APK Pearly Tier 0, Brett Henry, Broski TCG, Cap, Cool Name, Damon O'Neill, Dark Rebel XYZ, DJ Elefante, El Gravo, Emiliano Deverio, NB Adams, Fabrizio Petroli, Galactic Joey, Hergalicious, Jackie Z, James Place, JP, Cole Offline, Legal Rights, Lucas Rosas, Luis Hernandez, Master Key 090, Matthew M. Derezo, MBT Hablando en Español, MBT Play Medolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho, Pombo, Pyramid Artisan Field Cloths, TCG Accessories, Rancer My Thing, Rohan Doge, Rose Lapine, Serpentax, Shifter.mp8, Sly Ninja 43, Troy Says By Erasure is Gay, Who's Nick, Yuki Kazami, and Zircon Sun. Couldn't have done it without you.